Hello there. This is an impressive group of people I'm listening about. And I want to thank the Statesman Athletic Association for putting on the event. I've been a member there for a long time. And I want to thank my teammates and coaches who I've enjoyed playing with and always supported me and stuff and busted my tail a little bit, but I want to thank them for that. The thing about Hobart, by the way, Jerry Hanley also gave a speech at my stag party when I got married, and I think what he did was repeat a lot of I had a couple fumbles and a couple interceptions, and it went the wrong way a couple times, but I think what he did was he just repeated the plays over and over again. There weren't that many of them, but at any rate, he did that for me before. The thing about Hobart, for me, is all about family. I'm the oldest of 7 kids from Rochester, New York. Didn't have a lot, and my family is big. Literally, we have, my mom and dad had 7 kids. From there, they had 19 grandkids. From there, they had 19 great-grandkids. And I think a lot of people out here are in the same boat where family is really big. I know Tyrese would agree with that. So I want to just talk about my family a little bit. I've got 3 great kids. They're all married. They're smarter than I am. They're better looking than I am. Academically, they're stronger. And I just want to mention that I've got 5 grandkids, and they're just beautiful little girls and a beautiful little boy. So family's big to me. And I want to tell you the one story about Hobart, how it's affected my life. Is I worked in the admissions office right out of college, and I think that's kind of interesting because here's a guy who barely got into Hobart, is now one of 3 guys interviewing people to attend school. So I did come a long way, President Garrett. But I do remember guys like Dave Urich coming into the office. Dave was a great coach, player's coach, great guy. People loved him. Still do. But he would get dressed up in his orange blazer and his tie like this. He looked so out of place. There was a ketchup stain, I think, on one of the tie. But all he would do is say, "We just want the 2 kids from Corning." I want to tell a story, too, about when I graduated from Hobart, and then I spent a year in the admissions office. It was really a great time. I interviewed with IBM, and one of my high school buddies, who I played football and basketball with, called me up and said, "Hey, Jeff, IBM's starting a new division. Go interview them. They're looking for competitive athletes." They wanted the competitive fire in the sales and marketing area. So I went to Buffalo. I interviewed with this guy. And he's got my resume, and I think he had a pretty good read on me already. But I sit down, and he says to me, "So I understand you went to Hobart." And I said, "Yes, sir, I did." And he goes, "That means I can't trust you." It was a joke. He's a Hobart guy. So as soon as he said that, I knew I had the job. But the key thing is, Scotty Petosa, I like your speech because it's one I gave at my daughter's wedding when she got married. I met at IBM in Atlanta. I went for like a year's worth of training. It's literally a master's degree in business. And that's where I met my wife, Nancy. And that's one of the best moves I ever made. Coming to Hobart was a good one. Marrying my wife, Nancy, was another good one. I thought she was married at the time because she had this big rock. Where's Marpet? Pay attention to the story, pal. I thought she was married, and it turns out she was engaged. But I'm just a dumb guy. Guys don't know, unless you have older sisters, you don't know the difference between an engagement ring or a wedding ring. Well, I thought she was married, so I said to her, I go, "Yeah, how you doing? Just stay away from me. You know, I mean, you don't need to. We don't need to talk or anything like that." Just, "Oh, I'm engaged." She's engaged. Well, make a long story short, she wasn't engaged very long, and we ended up getting married. I've got 3 great kids, 5 great grandkids, and just very, very happy I married Nancy. She, and thank God that the kids are smart like she is. So I just want to again thank the Hobart community, the Statesman Association, and Jerry Hanley introduced me tonight. There's a class act for you, and so there's a lot of guys in the class, in the older classes that I was associated with at class acts. But Jerry, thanks very much, and thanks everybody else for tonight.